It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
What's going on, everybody? It's Afro Think Tank. America's crashing out. They're crashing out over their 9-to-5 job. They're crashing out over bills that keep coming every 30 days. They're crashing out over grocery prices. They're crashing out over life. And the reason why they're crashing out is because they are realizing that they are, in fact, slaves. Now, let me explain to you something real simple. I say this all the time. I've been saying this on YouTube, but I'm going to say it at the beginning of this video so you can process it. I want all you guys to process what I'm about to say. Okay? Now, back during slavery, which was the beginning of commercialized global capitalism, okay? The system we continue to live in right now. When they housed the slaves, or the Africans who were enslaved, and this time I'm going to include all peoples who were enslaved, all right? All the colonized, all the indentured servants, because guess what? You were slaves, all right? Just by a different name. You got a little bit of extra tier. You got a tier privilege, right? Just a little tier privilege, right? Just like your assistant manager gets a little bit of tier privilege, right? You get what I'm saying, right? In capitalism. Now, your corporate job will pay you just enough, right? Right now, they give you just enough to pay your rent or mortgage. Barely. Almost, right? Now, during slavery, they had to house, their overhead was to house the enslaved personnel. They had to house the enslaved personnel, and they had to feed the enslaved personnel, right? And they had to give the enslaved personnel a day off, right? That day was Sunday. Saturday wasn't included until maybe less than 100 years ago. Keep that in mind. So for 500 years, one day was all you got. And that's just to reinforce Christianity and to obey your masters and to turn the other cheek and all those things the corporations wanted you to believe and think and know and understand before you went back to work and work for can't see in the morning to can't see at night. Right? So the overhead of the corporations was simply to feed you and house you and to transport you from your dwelling to the plantation or wherever it is you were working, right? Fast forward 300-400 years, 2025, your corporations pay you just enough so you can eat, just enough so you can pay your own rent or mortgage, and just enough so you can transport yourself back and forth from work. Maybe, kinda, sorta, maybe just a little bit, right? The only true difference is the violence. Sometimes, early industrial capitalism, the violence was still there. That's still a relatively new phenomenon. And still, the violence is still kind of sort of there. Because if you protest, like if you were enslaved personnel and you protested against your working, can't see at night, can't see in the morning, or can't see at night, if you protested the harsh conditions of your job, they would get a middle management individual to discipline you physically. Or if you tried to quit your job or run away, they would get some middle management to come and beat, hit you, hurt you, harm you, right? They would do all that. If you protest against the corporate system, they would get their government retainers to come and correct you, right? In the name of capitalism. Now, right? What happens if you try to protest your job, protest the system that you're stuck in? They will send a middle management police officer, what they call it now, right? ICE for some individuals, and they will harm you in the streets. They will harm you financially. They will harm and punish you if you don't do what they say. So what is the real difference between slavery, indentured servitude, and your employment? Less physical violence. But outside the less physical violence, the disrespect is still somewhat there, right? Maybe the disrespect is a little different, but the disrespect is still there. The disenfranchisement is still there. Disenfranchisement is still there, right? Disenfranchisement, right? So the only thing corporations did was instead of personally paying for your housing, for your food, right? If you was a slave or indentured servant, instead of giving you a few coins, right? If you're indentured servitude, they give you a paycheck. They just pass their overhead onto you. The money they would spend on the overhead to house, feed, and transport enslaved personnel, they're simply just chopping that up and giving it to you and making you responsible for doing it yourself. But they're still giving you, by ratio, the same amount of money. Capitalism is slavery perfected. So people are crashing out because they're realizing that there's no such thing as an American dream. There's only capitalism. And those people who own those multinational corporations are the offspring, are the children, are the grandchildren, the great-great-grandchildren of all those slave holders, slave insurers, slave shippers. Same companies rebranded with new names. Same system rebranded with new names. Slave, serf, indentured servant, inmate, employee, interchangeable words. Slavery, capitalism, interchangeable words. Think about it. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
What the fuck are we doing on this earth, man? Every day, most of us wake up and go to a job that we really don't fucking like, but we can't really quit because we got to get the money to pay the bills that they say is important to pay. What the fuck is the point of this life, man? We go to grocery stores and buy food that God gave us for free. Why the fuck did we pay for lights? Well, that's just the way it is. Fuck you. I'm tired of all this "that's just the way it is" bullshit. This whole fucking system is garbage. America ain't nothing but a big ass fucking plantation, man. A big ass fucking plantation. What the fuck are we doing here? There are days I don't want to be on this earth. And I'm not saying I want to unalive myself and nothing like that. But I'm tired, man. It's like, what the fuck is the point of any of this? To work till we 60, 70 years old? Most of us ain't gonna fucking live to see 50. But we gotta work to maybe retire. Man, fuck you and all that bullshit, man. I don't give a fuck about who president, left, right, and all this dumbass shit. I'm tired of this whole fucking game, man. It's a big ass game. It's a big ass charade. America is a fucking plantation. I don't give a fuck what nobody got to say about it, man. This shit is exhausting. Like, I don't even want to look for another job. I'm gonna walk in there, they gonna ask me, why do you even want this job? Bitch, cause I need some fucking money to pay the bills that they tell me is important to pay. The fuck out of here, man.
Why the fuck I'm not rich yet? Like, I'm just so tired. Like, I fucking work every day dealing with these fucking people. Like, bitch, like, I'm tired. I need a fucking break. I need a fucking vacation. Like, fuck.
I got a call this morning from AAA. AAA is a car insurance company. Car insurance is something that you pay for because you have to for some reason. When you become an adult and you attempt to live in society, every single aspect of being alive costs between $100 and $1,000 to $2,000. Every single thing. And the older that you get, the more things keep being added. So you work like a dog all month so that you can afford every single hand that's sticking out in your face saying, you have to pay this because otherwise you won't have car insurance because you need car insurance to drive and you need car insurance because you have to drive a car and you have to go to your job and you have to do all this stuff. And please, if you're thinking at this point, well, you don't have to have car insurance. If you want to drive a car, then you have to get insurance because that's your decision. No, it isn't. No, it's not my decision because I live in a city that is car dependent. I live in a country that is car dependent. So don't be fucking cute and say that I should take the Los Angeles Metro. Spare me. got a call this morning from AAA law enforcement. Or fucking goddamn it! From AAA, I don't even know what it, from AAA car insurance. AAA car insurance. And they said, Mr. Henschel, there's a problem. Another thing about being an adult is that you have something called a cell phone. On your cell phone, you get about 100 calls a week that are complete gibberish nonsense from a basement in Malaysia. You get 100 phone calls a week from random series of numbers. If you answer the phone call, you will hear complete silence. You also get one phone call a week that if you don't pick it up, it will ruin your life. So somewhere in there is an extremely important phone call. The same thing happens with your mail. Every week, you get 1,000 fucking pieces of trash. And one very, very important letter that if you don't answer, you go to jail. This morning, I got one of those phone calls in the magic grab bag. And I picked it up. It was AAA. And they said, Mr. Henschel, unfortunately, it seems that there was a lapse in your coverage because you switched your driver's license. You had a Maryland driver's license, and then you got a California driver's license. And you need to give us your California driver's license information now. Otherwise, you don't get to have car insurance. And if you drive your car, you can go to jail. So I said, okay. Keep in mind also, the thing that really bothers me about all these people, car insurance, credit card, landlords, fucking everybody, the utility company, the water company, they all speak to you as though you are voluntarily doing this, as though they are doing you a favor. I don't want to pay for any of this shit. I don't want to do any of this. I didn't ask to do any of this at all. I didn't ask for it. I didn't even have to be fucking alive. I don't want to do this. I don't want to pay my car insurance. I don't want car insurance. I don't want to give you my new driver's license. I don't want to fucking do that. But I have to for some fucking reason. Because for some fucking reason, in order to be alive, you have to pay 20 different people $200. And you have to keep reciting random digits of numbers. Everything about being alive is just fucking numbers over and over again. Important numbers for this, important numbers for that. You gotta type in this password, you gotta type in this number, you gotta type in this thing, and if you get it wrong, you're gonna go to jail. I didn't say any of this to the lady, I just said, sure, let me just give you this fucking number so that I can move on with my life and attempt to enjoy anything about anything. Here it is. Click, clack, click, clack, click, clacks for a little while. And then she says, I'm sorry, Mr. Henschel. We can't offer you coverage. So I said, excuse me? Because I've had AAA for 3 fucking years. What's the problem? And she said, well, it appears that you were in an accident about a year ago. And I said, yeah, I was. I was in a fender bender. My one accident that I've had in the past 5 years. I drive because I'm forced to by society. I drive for about 75% of my day. Every day. And one fucking time, an old lady cut in front of me going 20 miles per hour on the freeway, and I couldn't slow down in time, and I bumped her in the back of a car. Remember, this is a satire account. And she said, well, it appears that this was a 2-point accident. And I was like, what does that fucking mean? Everything is numbers, remember? random numbers that mean something for some reason. It was a 2-point accident, and we can only insure you if you have a 1-point accident. So I was like, what does that mean? And she said, well, a 2-point accident is when the person claims injury. So you hit this person, and then apparently she was injured. So I was like, well, how do we know that? I mean, what do you mean she was injured? It was a very, very light accident. And so what if she was injured? Last I checked, the only conceivable point of having car insurance is in case something like this happens. That's what car insurance is supposed to be for, in theory. When you think about if there is any rational reason why you would need to have car insurance, it is for the purpose that if at one point during the 75% of your life that you're in a fucking car, you happen to get in an accident, you're not completely fucked. So why, if I got in one accident, am I fucked anyway? Because the last time that I checked, the reason I was paying for this fucking shit, $200 a month, $300 a month, was in case anything happened, right? So then why, if something happens, then am I not allowed to have the insurance that I fucking paid for in case something happened? Why did I bother then? What are you for? Are you just a fucking mafia that you come to collect your $200 every fucking month? And if I need to use your service for anything, then I'm totally fucked because then I can't renew your stupid fucking insurance. And I said, so I didn't say any of this. I just said very politely, well, I was kind of stunned for a minute because all of that was going through my head. And I said, well, what are my options then? And she said, well, now you can't be insured by AAA, so we work with another agency who blah, 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 and then we'll call this person, and they'll call you, and then you call them, and then they'll give you the numbers, and then you give them the numbers, and then you'll have to pay a much bigger number than you were already paying before. The point I'm trying to illustrate here is, what the fuck? I didn't ask for any of this. I, this morning, woke up and I said, God fucking damn it. I just need a fucking win. I just need one thing. Just one thing. Please, God. I don't believe in God. But I said a prayer last night. I said, God, can you please just let one good thing happen tomorrow? Because I gotta be honest here. I'm paying all these random corporations my entire paycheck. And I can't figure out why. I don't want to, but I have to. I have to pay rent. I have to pay my bullshit. Why? I'm waiting for the guy to call me back that's at the other insurance company, so that I won't be in legal trouble for driving my car. And he hasn't called me, so. I don't get it, because I guess my honest question is, what is supposed to be the good part of this? You know, is that just a question that everybody is too stupid to ask? Is that just a question that doesn't occur to most people who don't have mental health problems? Or is that a question that they just don't think about? What is supposed to be the fucking point? Why am I doing all of this? Nobody could tell me that at any point in my childhood. When I was in high school, when I was in school, and they were saying you have to get this grade so that you can get into good college and you can get money to go to a good college, and if you go to college so you can get a job, and this is why you have to do all of these things that you don't want to do and that don't make any sense and that suck. And that is why you cannot enjoy a single second of your life, because if you do now, you won't be able to do all of these different things. And the question that I had over and over again to everybody in my life was, why? Why the fuck would I do any of that? Why do I want to do any of that? Why? What is the purpose of doing any of that? And nobody could ever give me a straight fucking answer. They would just be like, well, because you have to do that. But nobody could at any point ever tell me what the fuck was in it for me. So I didn't do it. Because I dared to ask the question, why? Don't you hate doing all of this? Why are you totally fine with all of this? Is it because you're fucking stupid? Because that's what I'm left to assume. Is it because you were too stupid to ask that question when you still had a chance to change your life? And now the fact that I am asking it is raising something inside you that you have tried to suppress so hard, because if it arises at all, you're gonna fucking kill yourself? Is that it? Because I bothered to ask why. They call me a spoiled brat. They called me entitled. And the whole time I sort of was wondering, let me remind you of something. I didn't ask to be born. I've said that in a lot of videos because it's something that I think is another question that most people don't ever consider. You are telling me all of this stuff that I have to do as if I wanted to do it in the first place. You're telling me all of this as if I should be grateful for the opportunity to do it. I'm not. Okay? If you had asked me, if at some point when I was floating around in the ether, if you had asked me, would you like to be siphoned into a human body so that you can experience what it is like to live in a bureaucratic nightmare society? The good parts will be fucking, drinking, doing drugs, falling in love, but even that gets bad eventually. Having kids if you decide that you're so bored. And that's it. You know, your relationships. I would have said no. I'm perfectly happy floating around in this ether here, this little ball of gas. I'm good. But I didn't have a choice, because my fucking, no offense, but I am the product of somebody's boredom. The reason that I was created was because I was something to do. I was something to fill the time. I was the lazy answer to that question for somebody else. And now I am expected to perpetuate that cycle of abuse and usage. Well, I'm not going to. That's why I'm not having kids. We got enough. I'll figure something else out to do with my time. Still nothing. tell you this. Thank God this doesn't last forever. And thank God it doesn't make a fucking difference. Thank God. I never understood people who were afraid of death, because for me, that's my why. The only answer to the questions that I've raised in this video that I've been able to come up with is because I'm going to die. It doesn't matter. Fine. Fine. I'll get to go back to the ether, the floating cloud where I was before I was born. And I don't remember that. So, fine. Maybe I'll even get reincarnated as a bougainvillea. Wouldn't that be nice? Although I hope it's not my bougainvillea that I got from the Home Depot, because I killed that thing in a month. Alright, I'm sick of this crap. See you later.
Anybody that's been crashing out, the crash outs are valid, bro. I don't even care. The crash outs are valid. If you're talking about how these jobs ain't paying enough money, they want to overwork you or underpay you, valid crash out. If you're talking about how grocery prices been wilding, valid crash out. Me, I eat buffet food. I eat peanut butter and jelly, or if my mom cook, or if my fiance cook, then I eat what they cook. Besides that, because I rarely cook. I keep it honest with y'all. But there's a lot of valid crash outs, bruh. Real talk. So I don't even blame y'all. Like, it's like they put the planet on Hall of Fame mode. For real, for real. And like I said, it don't make it no better that these jobs ain't paying, bro. Like, it's like they literally want you to just not make it.
All right, so look, let me tell you the truth that don't nobody want to say out loud. American citizens are being priced out of existence, and more people have stopped paying bills than they want to admit. Now, I'm not talking about just a few people slipping through the cracks. I'm saying that the cracks have widened so big that whole communities are slipping through them. And this isn't about laziness. This is not a problem of bad budgeting. Well, sometimes it's bad budgeting, but you get what I'm saying. The problem is beyond budgeting. What it's really about is an economy that has been stretched past its breaking point. The cost of survival has been raised higher than human beings can reach. Think about your own life. You go to work, you get paid, rent takes the whole check before you get your next breath out. Just instantly, boom, gone. You walk into the grocery store with money in your pocket, and then you walk out the grocery store with 2 little ass bags that barely last a week. Maybe a couple days if you're lucky. You stand at the gas pump and you watch the numbers spin and rise faster than your paycheck ever will. You go to the mailbox and it's nothing but more demand, more bills, and more weight you can't carry. And this cycle repeats itself day after day, month after month, year after year. And people are tired. Not just physically tired, people are burned out. We are, after all, living in a global burnout crisis. People are drained in the body. People are drained in the mind. People are drained in the soul. For years, they just told us to push harder, to rise and grind, to believe in our potential. But they never once acknowledged our limits. They never once acknowledged that human beings are not machines. They ignored the exhaustion. They ignored the collapse. They ignored the fact that we are working harder than ever in an economy that gives us less and less in return. And we've tried everything. Payday loans, side hustles, payment plans, extensions, rearranging due dates, running up them credit cards, borrowing from family, selling time, selling energy, selling our peace of mind. Every door has been knocked on. Every option has been exhausted. And no matter what you try, it's never enough. Because there isn't enough. Because the system was never built so that you can win. win. This system was designed for us to fail. And this is what it means to be priced out of existence. To give everything you have and still not be able to cover the basics. To work yourself to the bone and still fall behind. To live in a society where survival is set at a price that ordinary people cannot afford. And when you realize that, something shifts inside of you. You begin to see the truth. The dollar is hollow. It's not protection. It's not freedom. It's not wealth. It's a leash. A leash they use to keep you obedient. A leash they tighten while telling you to smile and be grateful for what you got. And you finally understand that the bills will never stop. Because the bills are the point. The bills are the chain. So people stop. People are stopping. Quietly, but people are stopping. They stop paying rent to buy food instead. They let the car go. They let the credit card rot. People just stop answering the phone. And it's not because they don't care. It's just that they care more about being alive than paying these companies or these banks. They care more about feeding their kids instead. You know what I'm saying? They care more about not losing their minds under the weight of all this unrealistic pressure. Here's the secret that they don't want you to know. More people than you think have already made that choice. But this country, it only adds more chaos, more fuel to the fire. We got tariffs tossed around like dice. Trade wars shaking every price tag. We got groceries going up, clothes going up, medicine going up. Appliances, utilities, everything you touch is going up in price. One man's ego turned into millions of people's pain. That's not leadership. That is dictatorship energy. Living here in America has become unpredictable. You don't know what tomorrow will cost. You don't know what new rule or what new tantrum is going to make surviving tomorrow even harder. Look around. The signs are everywhere. Empty storefronts. You got families crammed together, doubling up, tripling up sometimes, just so everybody can have a place to live. Workers are taking on 2 and 3 jobs, hustling every hour of the day just to fall deeper and deeper into debt. This is beyond struggle. This is erasure. Citizens aren't just broke. They are being erased. We are being priced out of existence intentionally. And here's the part you never hear on the news. The rebellion has already begun. And it doesn't look like protests. It doesn't look like riots. It looks like silence. It looks like people saying no in private. It looks like families feeding themselves instead of paying rent. It looks like envelopes just left unopened. It looks like millions of people withdrawing from a system that no longer has anything to offer them. And that is the rebellion that this empire fears the most. Not rage in the streets, not loud slogans, but the refusal to believe. Because once you see the dollar for what it is, once you see that that bill is just a piece of paper, then you can never unsee it. And once enough people stop believing, then this illusion collapses. The empire, America, will call it irresponsibility. But what's more irresponsible? A family choosing to survive over fueling a rigged system? Or a government that spends billions on wars, on bailouts for billionaires, on corporate greed, while its citizens are burned out, tired, and broken? So let's be clear. They told us if we worked hard, if we followed the rules, then we'd be safe. But the truth is undeniable now. American citizens have been priced out of existence, and more of us have already stopped paying than they will ever admit. That's not just a statistic, that's a quiet revolution. Every exhausted body that says no, every unpaid bill that refuses obedience, every family that chooses life over debt. These are not failures. These are votes of no confidence in this empire. Proof that the spell is breaking. So when they ask what happened to the American dream, tell them that the people woke up. Tell them that the people ran out of options. Tell them that the people stopped paying. And that is how empires fall. Not always with fire raining down from the sky, but with silence at the kitchen table. It's not always with noise, but with millions of voices whispering the same truth. And that truth is, we will not pay for our own erasure because we've already been priced out. We are tired. We are done. And we will no longer pretend otherwise.
I want to leave the country. I want to leave the country, and I think that everybody thinks that that's crazy. I think everybody thinks that that's fucking crazy. And Because, oh my God, how do you leave the country? Number one, we don't have enough money for like normal bills, right? So like, it's like, oh, travel abroad. No, I don't want to travel abroad. I want to leave abroad. I want to leave here and go somewhere else. I keep seeing all these fucking TikToks that are like, oh, I was in Thailand and like, look at this fucking doctor's appointment I went to and the fucking hospital looks like a goddamn hotel. And it cost them like $100. I think so much is being kept from us about like what it's like to live in other countries. Either that, not kept from us, we're not doing enough research. I have 4 kids under the age of 7. I'm trying to uproot and go. But if I say that to other people are like, that's fucking crazy. Like, how you think you can't afford to live here? How are you gonna afford to like up and move? Oh, I don't know. The average cost of moving fucking states is like 10 grand anyway. Don't you think I could get across the seas for 10 grand and find some place? I don't know. Aren't there? I'm crashing out. Isn't there not people that do this as a living? Like they went overseas and they were like, oh, I'm gonna help Americans flee. We're fleeing. Shouldn't we be fleeing? Should we be fleeing at this point?
Physically. He said he'd bring me back a present.
I'm obviously crashing out. I'm obviously, because there has to be, I don't know. I think we were born in America to think, oh, you can't leave America. But like, if you think about like Europe, like, half of the fucking countries are the size of like, I don't know, like Idaho. I don't fucking know. We should be able to up and go, right? Because everything here is completely fucked. Everything here is fucked, bro. Like, it's fucked. It's fucked, and we should be able to.
Sir Davos is a traitor. He's rotting in a.
So if anybody has any clue on how to like plan on how to move your entire family out of the country without it sounding like it's like the most extreme thing ever, let me know, because you know people flee countries to get better lives, and like now America is the country to be fleeing. We need to be fleeing here. Right? Or we can sit here and wait until we're all actually homeless, which I don't really know. Like, there's something about the game of Monopoly and capitalism with like something about that and all that. I don't have the knowledge to explain it. All I know is that this isn't really gonna work for me at all unless something changes, which it's not gonna change. It's actually gonna get worse. I know it's gonna keep getting worse. So I would like to flee. I would like to flee and be I would like to flee this country and be an immigrant to another country. I would like to be saved by another country who knows that America is an absolute fucking shit show. So if anybody agrees with me or like has any information on how to do that, let me know. It's 1:20 in the morning. I'm crashing out about living in America, and that's all. So good night.
So y'all still don't think America taking a loss? Within 3 months, unemployment rate done went up. The American debt has tripled. People 401k being impacted. The stock market is crashing. Matter of fact, speaking of 401k, go take a look at your 401k and see the impact this year has had so far on your 401k. A lot of y'all don't even pay attention to it. And a lot of y'all don't even believe that or know that your 401k is part of the stock market. That's how smart y'all is. A lot of y'all don't even know your 401k is part of the stock market. Y'all believe and think since it come out your check each pay period, that it's always gonna be there. Wow, that's how clueless a lot of y'all is. Just gonna look at your stock market. Not everybody's been impacted or been affected right now, but just go take a look at. Just go take a look. A huge amount of American people 401k has been impacted and taken a loss within the last 3 months.
Y'all had to come sit in the car for this motherfucking crash out. Why the fuck I just get done checking my motherfucking mail and a light bill company done sent me a fucking letter talking about they add $50 to my motherfucking light bill because I had to split up the deposit. Bitch, I had to split up the deposit because I ain't had the fucking funds. Why would y'all charge me an extra $50 fucking if I already didn't have the fucking money to pay the full deposit? If I had to break the deposit up, why the fuck would y'all charge me extra? Like, oh my God, like this shit is, living life is a fucking scam. Like, having your own place, like, is not all it cracked up to be. All you gotta do is pay fucking bills every 2 fucking days. It's a new bill that come out. And if you don't pay that full bill, it's a fucking late fee added to it. It's another fucking bill. It's so fucking expensive to be poor. Like, bro, it's so expensive to be poor. I swear to God. I swear to God, that's the most expensive thing in this world, is to be fucking poor.
60% of the American public is about to lose everything they have. People living paycheck to paycheck are about to go broke. The GDP numbers came in yesterday, and of course the economy receded, which I predicted 2 months ago, and people laughed. Mark my words, the second quarter is going to be far worse. Tariffs on Chinese products at 145% are about to kick in, which means everything you buy from China on Amazon or elsewhere is about to go through the roof. Grocery store shelves are starting to empty at Walmarts across the country, and of course grocery prices continue to soar. People who've been financing groceries on credit are starting to default on those payments. We are about to see an economic catastrophe. If you're in this 60% that has little or no money, please stop spending money. Protect your family. Trump does not care about you. Even if you voted for him, he's a billionaire. He won't suffer, but you and your family will. Please protect yourself.
Waking up and doing this shit every day is crazy. Like, every fucking day we gotta do this shit. 30 days, boom, bills. Another 30 days, boom, bills. Another 30 days, boom, bills. Like, what the fuck? Is no breaks at all? And I ain't complaining. I really accept the situation because it is what it is. But the reality of the situation, most of us don't have rent on auto pay. Most of us don't have our bills on auto pay. Every month we thinking of like, how we gonna cut the check this week? How we gonna cut the check this week? Like, even though I want to give my life to the bills, I still want to try to live free and have fun on the weekends. Like, every month we thinking like this. This is insane. And the most messed up part is if you miss that bill one time, they'll cut it off. They'll cut it off. They might give you a little day, like 3-4 days. And by after that, they'll cut off. They don't give a fuck about what you got going on. They don't give a fuck if you lose a job. They will cut it off. I ain't shit in my house cut off. I'm just saying. But that one time versus me paying my bill 12 months, 11 months straight, on time, never late. Me not paying it once, shut everything off. I feel like we should have like a grace period. Like, bro, I feel like, all right, you know what? You can't pay the bill this month. You gonna be clear for this month right here. Y'all gonna be good for this month. I feel like if you got good credit history with your bill company, they should give a grace for every bill, everything, for at least a month. Y'all motherfuckers make way too much money to be this damn greedy, bro.
So, let's talk about something. 65% of Americans are flat broke right now. They're living paycheck to paycheck. They can't afford rent. They can't afford groceries. They can't afford to do any extracurricular activities. They can't afford to go to a Six Flags. They can't afford to go to a water park. They can't even afford to barely leave the house and pay for the gas it would take to go to the places that they want to go to. Most Americans are working 40, 50, 60 hours a week to bring home a paycheck that instantaneously goes to rent, car payments, insurance, taxes, food, clothes, necessities, instantly gone. You make an $800 paycheck, gone. That's one car payment. You make an $800 paycheck the next week, gone. You got half of your rent paid. The next week, you pay the other half of your rent. The following week, you have $800 left over. Out of the 4 weeks you work, if you're making $800 a week, you have $800 left over. But I didn't account for groceries for the last 3 weeks. I didn't account for gas for the last 3 weeks to get to work. I didn't account for your electric bill. I didn't account for your heat bill. I didn't account for your water bill. I didn't account for anything else. $800 a week, I'm going to break this down for you, is $25 an hour at 40 hours a week after taxes. $25 an hour used to be a wage you could buy a home on. $25 an hour now, you can barely afford to squeak by. In fact, in most cases, you're not getting by. You're just simply putting the bigger expenses on credit cards and making small payments towards those. This is the new America. This is the new world we live in. AI will take over most jobs. Whether you guys want to listen to me or not, it will be taking over most jobs. You'll no longer call a support center and have a person. It'll be a robot. You'll never call, customer service again and have a person. It'll be a robot. You'll go to Wendy's and the McDonald's and you'll go to, Dunkin' Donuts and it'll be a robot that takes your order. There'll be 2 workers in the back making your order, chefing it up. Then they'll hand it to you. They won't have to be on a microphone taking your order. AI won't make mistakes. This is the new world we're in right now. This is it. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I was growing up, I watched this really crazy movie actually about AI. It was called Terminator, and we saw how the world ended with that one. So, I don't even know what to think anymore. I mean, nobody can afford to do a fucking thing. And you got all these millionaires and all these course kids in Miami. Oh, I drive a Lamborghini. I do. I'm going to break that shit down for you really quick in the next video, so you might want to watch that.
I'm gonna lose it. 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 And I'm gonna lose it on camera so that maybe I can get money for losing it. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. The cost of living is high. My salary's not that high. I just got out of bankruptcy. I don't even want to talk about it. I just had to have the government pay some back rent because I owed so much money. I don't even want to talk about it. Now the IRS is on my ass for $20K. The New York State is on my ass for $5K. They're calling my job to try to take my money. So I just transferred money to pay the state tax, and my loans took it. Oh my God, 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 get me rich, oh my God.
We're on a motherfucking floating rock paying for natural resources, bitch. The floating rock gives us water and they're making us pay for water. We're on a floating rock paying for resources, bitch.
I'm sorry, but what in the actual is going on here? My favorite is that says everyday low price. I'm here every day. I'll show you my receipts. This is the first day I've seen it say $7.50. Why is it $7.50 for a pound of 85% hamburger? When it is $6.69 for a rolled pound of 80% hamburger, we have lost the plot. What is going on? Is there a hamburger flu like there was a bird flu when the chicken was really expensive? And yet chicken is back to $2.98 a pound. I mean, I would love to see chicken at $1.88 a pound, but this is like one of the best prices I've seen in a while, and hamburger is $1,000 now. What is going on? Are they just taking turns being $1,000? How much is it in the case? It's only $6.99 in the case for 85. Why would you want rolled hamburger for $7.50 if you can have it from the case for $6.99? Make that make sense.
I'm holding my phone up because, my phone holder just broke amongst everything else. In the wise words of the prophet George Carlin, it's called the American dream because you have to be asleep to believe it. Meanwhile, I'm out here. I'm not asleep. I am wide awake. I am paying $6 for McCormick chicken dust today. Chicken dust. Chicken seasoning is $6 for a tiny little fucking jar. Eggs, $10 damn a dozen. Folgers coffee. Folgers coffee is now $20 for the, the lidded red jar, the tin that tastes like it was scraped out of a nursing home's drip pot in 1986. And then Trump's over here like, the economy's great. It's great. It's great. Really, bitch? That's why people are financing their groceries on Klarna like it's a Louis Vuitton bag. That's why we're out here afterpaying fucking bananas. By the way, I've lost my voice if you can't tell, just, from being sick and from crashing out this week over groceries. It's not the American dream. It is the American gaslight. And we're all just out here seasoning our fucking ramen with bad debt that we can't pay. You can't even treat yourself anymore. A Starbucks run feels like applying for a small business loan. A grocery store trip requires like a blood sacrifice in your firstborn and a cosigner with decent credit. Costco is absolutely terrifying. I don't even want to go in. I mean, it used to be the land of abundance, and now I'm terrified. You walk in rather confident, and walk out broke and confused, holding a $40 jar of pickles and a kayak that you didn't know you fucking needed. And let's be honest, bill due dates, those aren't real anymore. They're polite little suggestions, sometimes polite, sometimes not. Credit cards be calling me like, ma'am, you're 4 days past due. And I'm like, and? Get in line, man. You'll get your $35 minimum payment when I'm done paying $12 for these eggs. I just realized I wasn't breathing there. And utilities don't even pay the electric bill or buy milk for the kids' choices. But sure, tell me again about how wages are up. Yeah, cool. $3 more an hour so I can afford a half cart of groceries and a therapy session about why I cried in aisle 5 because the box of Cheerios was $9. $9. And at this point, I don't need a financial advisor. I need an exorcist because clearly the demons running this economy are thriving while the rest of us are out here bartending vibes and trauma for gas money. And when that doesn't cut it, guess who's going to be at the pawn shop with grandma's heirlooms? Not me. Yes, sir, it's a Victorian locket from 1892. No, I don't care what it's worth. Just tell me if it'll cover 2 gallons of milk and a tank of unleaded.
But there's a reason. There's a reason. There's a reason for this. There's a reason education sucks, and it's the same reason that it will never, ever, ever be fixed. It's never going to get any better. Don't look for it. Be happy with what you got. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest. That's right. They don't want people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table and figure out how badly they're getting fucked by a system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. People who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it. And now they're coming for your Social Security money. They want your fucking retirement money. They want it back so they can give it to their criminal friends on Wall Street. And you know something? They'll get it. They'll get it all from you sooner or later because they own this fucking place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club. And by the way, it's the same big club they use to beat you over the head with all day long when they tell you what to believe. All day long, beating you over the head in their media, telling you what to believe, what to think, and what to buy. The table is tilted, folks. The game is rigged. And nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care.